Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the energies for February 2021 for life path number 1. Before we get into the reading, I just want to mention that this, of course, is a general reading. If you're interested in a personalized reading, then please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So February is a universal 7-month. And so some keywords that we can sort of hone in on this month or that may come up and surface are around specialization, solitude, self-analysis, and that's really in line with, when it comes to your goals, projects that you might be working on, and relationships. So taking a closer look at, are my goals aligned with, my soul and where I want to be moving? Are the projects that I'm investing my energy in the projects that I want to be investing my energy in and my time into? And also relationships. Again, this is a time for sort of self-analysis to see, are the relationships that I'm showing up to and investing in, are they in line with the trajectory that I want to be on? Is it, am I building with somebody that I want to continue to build with? And so that's just going to come into the forefront to take a closer look at that. So again, relationships could come in pretty heavily, and that doesn't just necessarily need to be romantic. It can be, a colleague, it can be friendships. And it's just an opportunity to take a closer look at those relationships and just make sure that, there's a healthy exchange of energy there. Health could come to the forefront. And when I speak about health, when it comes to 7 energy, it really is that holistic health. It's that body, mind, spirit, making sure that there's balance there, that that if there's one area that feels out of balance, that you're taking the time to really focus in on that to get yourself back into balance the best that you can. This can be a time for reflection and rest. You may find that your dreams are very vivid at this time, and that can be your daydreams as well as your night dreams. So the dreams that you have while you're awake, as well as those that you have when you're not awake. So pay attention to your dreams. This is a great energy to keep a dream journal, to write down those symbols that come up for you, and then potentially even work with somebody that does dream interpretation, however, it comes in for you. But dreams could be very vivid, and a lot of times our dreams hold a lot of valuable information. Okay, so this is a cycle where you need to allow it to work for you rather than trying to control or force things to happen. So this can be really especially highlighted around business or external matters. This energy is more focused on self-work. So instead of being focused on the external, this is going to be a time to bring it back in. I mean, it's always about internal work, right? But 7 energy is more about that solitude, about bringing it back in, kind of more like a hermit energy, where you're doing a lot of self-reflection and making sure that the path that you're on is the path that you want to be on and that is the most serving for you and your work. So this can also be a time for integration and, of course, like I said, specialization. So when I say specialization, I mean like expanding your mind and your expertise. So you may find that you go back to school at this time or take an online course or, read a ridiculous amount of books or something like that to kind of, again, expand your mind and your experience as well as your expertise. And so if there's something where like maybe your focus of your energy has been more scattered, 7 energy is a really great energy to rein that back in and to specialize on something, to become the expert at something. And so, or at least start that process. So it's a time where if your energy was more scattered to a million different things, that this is a great time to refocus that energy on those very specific things that you want to see expand, okay? Or that you want to become the expert at. So again, really focus your energy this month. And that's going to take you, making that effort, but I think you'll find that it's much easier to sort of focus your energy at this time. So really, if I had to come up with sort of a theme for this month, it's really quiet, receptivity. And so it's like allowing the things to come to you, allowing the experiences to come to you without forcing it, without like being overly actively involved in the experience. Okay. It's kind of like you've done all that work in the past. And so now it's kind of like these things will come to you or come into your awareness that need your focus. And those are the things that you focus your energy on. So if something feels forced this month, then that's your indicator that you need to just rein it back a little bit, chill out a little bit, and allow the things to come to you, and then become actively involved in it. So that's sort of the overall energy for the numerology. As we get into the reading, I pulled an animal spirit card for ones to kind of see what the overall energy is. And you guys got humpback whale, which is so beautiful. I love that energy. So humpback's message is music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. And you know what's interesting is as soon as I saw this card, what immediately came into me was be mindful of your frequency. And so, yes, I'm going to get to the music part in a moment, but I think it's really important to pay attention to your own frequency because, your vibration, the vibration that you put out into the world, you have some level of control over that. You actually have full control over that. And so, this is going to be an opportunity this month for, again, that self-analysis and that self-reflection to see what is my vibration? Like, how am I showing up? Am I constantly in the negative? Am I constantly overly positive? Am I well balanced? What is my frequency? And so I feel like this is an opportunity to take a closer look at that and see, what frequency you're putting out there, because that frequency attracts like frequency. And so again, if you're constantly in the negative, you're going to be attracting, this is, law of attraction 101, you're going to be attracting those more negative experiences. It's just the way it works. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. When you're tuned into that channel, you're going to receive the messages or the experience from that channel. If you don't like that channel, then you can change the channel. And so I feel like with Whale's message, it's more about tuning into your own frequency and making sure that, and fine tuning it, just making sure that the frequency that you're putting out there is the one that you want to be putting out there. And so going back to Whale's message, we can also say, music is healing. That's, sound healing is a legitimate, healing experience. And so pay attention to the music that you're surrounding yourself with. Pay attention to, again, that frequency that you're allowing in. This could be a great time to find an instrument that you can pick up and play, where you don't have to take, a lot of instruction or that sort of thing. Or if there's a instrument that you've wanted to learn how to play, this is a great time to specialize in it with that 7 energy. So maybe you will pick something up this month and go and get instructions and learn how to play it and become the expert. You just never know. And so be open to that. Music is coming in very strongly for you all. And so, or at least the frequency is coming in very strongly. So just be open to it. Again, that quiet receptivity. And it doesn't necessarily need to be literally quiet. Like you can be receptive to, again, those musical instruments that come in for you that allow you to free yourself, express yourself creatively, whether you become the expert at it or not. It's just an opportunity for self-expression. So just explore that, have fun. Ones can sometimes be very, very practical and very logical, and playing a musical instrument actually allows you to tap into that other side of your brain that just allows you to fully be in creative mode. Okay, so unless you're reading music, and then of course you get more into the practical side as well, so it finds your happy balance. Anyway, okay, so moving into the month. At the beginning I broke it down into 4 weeks. And so again, the energy is fluid, so it can come in when it comes in. But the first week, we have this energy of sort of a very solid, stable offer coming into you. And this feels around finances, resources, career, something like that. But what's really interesting is because it's a 7 energy for the collective, there's this sense of it coming to you. So again, that receptivity. So you receiving whatever this is. So it's almost like you had done the work in the past and now you're getting some kind of offer for that. You're getting some kind of some kind of opportunity coming in. But you just have to, one thing that you just need to be aware of is it may seem small at first. Like the offer might not seem, you might have had like greater expectations of what this offer should be or what it should look like. And the key is to be a little bit more open to the possibility of the stability that this can bring. And so again, it may not be starting where you want it to be starting, but the potential of it is great for allowing you to work with it, with your creativity, allowing you to work with your passion, allowing you to be able to express yourself. So again, you might be sort of starting from scratch a little bit with this. Maybe it's a new job that you're taking, and so you're not at the price point you want to be at, or the pay scale that you want to be at. Or you're just starting out a new business, and so you're not really able to charge exactly maybe what you want to charge because you want to build your clientele. Any of that could be coming in, but it feels very material. Also, for some reason, I'm seeing like a house. So like if you are going to buy a house and potentially flip it or something like that, or property or whatever. Anyway, so the key is, so it could be like property that you buy that doesn't have anything built on it, but you're going to do something with it down the road and maybe you don't know what that is yet. But anyway, so that's my point, is like whatever this is has the potential to grow into something really big and resourceful. So, and like really positive. So don't overlook it just because where it's starting out at doesn't meet your expectations. Let's put it that way. So again, it's just being open to the potentiality of what this could turn into, because it does have the power to turn into something very stable. And it's almost like in the future, you'll look back at this and be like, I'm so glad I made that investment. So this is an opportunity to, again, take that risk that comes to you. If it's forced, then it doesn't have that same energy. So again, that's why we say like, in this 7 energy, the more receptive that you can be and the more open you can be to those experiences and opportunities that come in for you, the greater potential for them to turn into something magnificent. So, all right. And then we move into the second week, and it's interesting. I'm getting this very, 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 very like visionary energy, very, creative energy, sort of like you being this conduit for creation, for magic, for using physical resources and the vision to create something magnificent in the world. And what's interesting is I'm also getting this energy, and this is such one energy, this like, being, very using your ingenuity and very being that visionary. That's coming in very, very strongly. But what's interesting is it's almost like the energy of like, don't act on it just yet. Like, again, don't force anything this month, but pay attention to the ideas that come in for you, because they're laying the groundwork for something in the future that you will create that's going to be powerful. So again, it's like, this is kind of like this is more exploration, or again, that specialization. So this could be like you pulling in the pieces and deciding what it is that you want to focus your energy on and then committing to that. So this could be like you making a very sound, very legitimate commitment this month. This feels very purpose-driven. This could also be around family though too. So, it's a very creative energy. So it could be for some of you that you're deciding to actually create a family. So have children, that sort of thing, or expand your family in some way. But this does, and that is also purpose-driven. Some people that is such a big core essence of their purpose, is to come down here and create a family and create children and all of that. And so, procreate. And so there is that energy also, but this feels also very much one energy. I'm thinking of like the Magician card in tarot, where it's like literally one energy. It's about taking that divine inspiration that creative life force and using the physical resources available and creating something really beautiful and powerful and new, that helps, not only yourself, but your community at large. And so, yeah, whatever, however that comes in for you. But I do feel like this is like the idea stage. This isn't necessarily like the implementation stage. And so again, this can be where it integrates. So just allow that information to come in, allow those downloads to come in, pay attention to your dreams at this time. This feels very relevant. This could be like you get a download to take a course, and where in the past you might have been like, I don't want to spend the money on that. This is a time where it's like, if it comes in strongly for you, take that risk, because I feel like the ideas and the downloads and the inspirations that are coming in for you at this time are preparing you to be able to build something really great. So, and what's interesting is I just got this this image of potentially meeting somebody. So like if you are single, or even if you're not single, I mean, things happen, right? If you're single, I feel like like have always been drawn to like wanting a family and children. This feels like you could potentially meet that partner at this time, or sort of get reacquainted with somebody from the past. I don't know. It just feels like you have an opportunity to meet somebody who is going to help you fulfill that dream. Okay. I don't know. That's not for everyone, but if that's relevant for you, then keep your eyes peeled. All right. And then we move into the third week. And this is really beautiful energy, actually. It's kind of like feeling like some kind of justice has been served over something. And it's like allowing you to kind of move through the storm and break free into the sunshine, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like this energy of like the storm is clearing and brighter days are ahead type thing. So it's kind of like if there's something that's been really nagging at you, or I don't know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you just couldn't seem to like release it or move on from it, or get closure around it. I feel like whatever this is, you're going to get some kind of closure at this time. And so this can be very literal. It can be around, divorce proceedings. It can be around, maybe you sold a business or something like that, or were trying to sell a business, and now all of a sudden you get the miracle comes in and you sell it, and you get closure of some sort. And maybe it wasn't exactly what you anticipated it would be, but it gives you that sense of closure, and that allows you to kind of like spread your wings again and soar freely and in the sunlight. So that feels really positive as well. So yeah, I'm just getting this sense of like closure around this time, and it doesn't feel like a negative thing. It almost feels like you're just happy to be done with it, and like there's this sense of release and relief. So however that comes in for you. Then we move into the fourth week, and it's interesting because it's almost like you got some kind of opportunity, or you're starting a new opportunity, and it almost feels like there's some kind of, this doesn't have to be financial, but it does feel financially related. So it's kind of like there's some kind of financial worry, financial stress, like this need for balance around finances. So it's almost like you need to take a practical look at things, like look at your finances and see like what are you actually working with, and what can you do from that space, and what do you need to do. Sometimes we have to do what we have to do until we can do what we want to do, but it's like there's just this there's this energy around lack or something like that, or fear around finances for some reason. Like you're taking a new job and you're worried about what that's going to do for you, or you're starting a new business, and that can be scary financially as well. And so it's like maybe you left a very solid paying job and now you're starting your own business, and you're a little bit concerned or worried. You're in your head a lot about the financial aspects of it. And so yeah, and this also kind of feels around like taking some kind of financial risk. So pay attention to, because this also feels like whatever this is around, it's like you're way in your head about this. And so it's kind of like you are afraid to take the risk because of the unknown around the finances. I don't know, finances are coming in really, really strongly. So the key is, because once, you are meant to, in this lifetime, find that equilibrium when it comes to being a visionary and creating something new and creating something that's, different. And especially being in the age of Aquarius now, it's like you guys are going to be at the forefront. And so, but you also get that self-doubt that comes in a lot of the times. And that can also be around finances because you're so practical. And so again, it's like almost like you have an opportunity to take a risk here, but you're really in your head about it. And you're allowing that fear of the unknown when it comes to finances really kind of control you. And so again, obviously, we live within this 3D plane. Money is a part of that. And so, we do use money for survival. So obviously, if it's like a survival thing, there's cause for concern there. So take a more practical look at that and see how you can overcome that. But if it's more just about like fear of the unknown and it hasn't actually happened yet, then you really need to kind of work on getting out of your headspace there and really figure out like, okay, how can I take this risk and know that I'm going to be, I'm being pushed to take this risk for a reason. And so how can I find my balance with this energy so that I can move into this with an open mind and an open heart and follow my dream, follow my vision so that I can create this new thing, this new exciting thing, right? And again, that can also be around children. I don't know why, but children are coming in really, really strongly at this time. And so for this reading, so, there can always be around like, oh, I'll start a family when I can afford to. And, the saying is you can never afford to. It's always expensive to have children. But are you going to let that keep you from doing something that your heart is calling you to do? And so I feel like this is around purpose as well for those of you that are not looking to have children. But it's just about finding that balance and understanding that it's like you have the opportunity to receive in direct proportion to your output. But at this time, during this 7 energy, again, it's so much about that quiet receptivity. So being open to what comes in for you. But just pay attention to your mindset at this time. Pay attention to that frequency that you're putting out there, because if you are not actually in dire straits at this moment, it's not a survival thing, because that's a different story. That is something where you would have to actually put in the effort to overcome that. But if it's not that situation and it's more about you just creating stories in your head, then that is going to hinder your progress, right? So you just need to take a closer look at that and see how can you alleviate that. Okay, so that is the overall energy for ones at this time for February 2021. I hope that it's a great February for you all. Thank you all for your support, and I will be back again soon. Take care. Bye for now.